Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Canopy Cafe. My name is Alex Page. You've probably seen me on here a couple of times already. And today I'm talking with Mackey McNeill, who is the CEO and founder of both Mackey Advisors and the Prosperity People, based out of Northern Kentucky. So we want to go ahead and welcome Mackey to the show. Be
Thank
awesome.
you.
Hey, how are you this morning?
Great to be with you today, Alex.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Mackey Advisors for all the people that maybe aren't super familiar with your organization.
Well, you can think of Mackey Advisors as this unusual combination of accountants and financial coaches and strategic advisors that really bring a set of tools and capacities to small business owners that they otherwise don't have. So we think of ourselves as bringing Fortune 500 tools to the small business community, so they can really thrive and prosper and work less and make more.
Yeah, that's awesome. And yeah, Mackey Advisors is actually a letter of intent company with Canopy. So it's really awesome to have them on the show here today.
Yeah.
How are you guys adapting with everything going on? I know the world is crazy right now, hopefully settling down like a little bit. But yeah, what have you guys done in the past couple of months?
We've been using internet technology to communicate with clients across the country because our clients are not all locally focused for years. And so we were very much prepared. We didn't really know how prepared we were, honestly. We drop shipped a few monitors to every team member so they have an array of monitors, as you might imagine, at the office, because they're looking at a lot of data often. So we drop shipped extra monitors to people's homes, and they were already up and running. So we certainly didn't have clients that came to our office, and they're now meeting with us on Zoom. But we have many clients who are already meeting with us on Zoom. I think the biggest change for us is we have a huddle every morning to kind of gather together, and we're doing that on Zoom. And at first, it was all just business, and so we've instituted something we call the coffee chat. And so once a week, you get a whole week to ask everybody whatever you want to know. And I've learned a lot about my team.
Yeah.
I didn't know. It's been really fun. Really fun.
Yeah, that's great. Canopy's actually been doing something similar. We call it our coffee stand-up, and we do it every morning. And it's nice because sometimes we definitely always discuss what everyone's doing that day and what all the members of the team are working on. But, sometimes we show up with like our hair on the side of our head and just like we just rolled out of bed. So it's nice because we've really gotten closer as a team through that, which, you would think that, with all the like just having to connect virtually, it would be a lot more difficult to be able to get closer to your team. But it's cool that that's been a good opportunity for a lot of businesses, it seems.
Yeah. I think with the right structures, it's very effective, but you do have to adapt. I think this is the call to adaption is big.
Right. So you said that you had to drop off computers at some of your clients, or how did that work?
With all of our employees that are now working at home, we drop shipped computer monitors. They all had Surfaces, which is our main technology computer, but they didn't necessarily have enough monitors to see everything about what they were doing. So we sent them all the things they needed to basically recreate their office at home. And all of our files are already on the web, so we use a remote server. And so that was really quite a wonderful shift that we made about 2 years ago.
Okay, gotcha. That's really nice that you guys did that for them, though, because I know sometimes as an employee, as you probably know, it can be hard to be able to like feel like you still need to balance all of these things, but you only have a certain amount of resources.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when is Mackey Advisors going to be able to open to the public again? Do you guys have a set date, or are you still just playing it by ear and working remotely as much as you can?
Yeah, I think we're really uncertain. We have no formal plans. The governor's orders are, if you can work remotely, to continue to work remotely. And so we are not impeded in any way by working remotely. We have somebody that goes to the office, and like yesterday, we got I have a new book out. The printer sent 450 copies, so somebody had to go receive them. And, we pick up the mail, and sometimes somebody is casually in the office to process checks or something that have to be sent out. But we actually closed the office a little bit before the governor's orders came through, just to make sure that we were maintaining the safety and health of our team. And since, again, it wasn't an interference with the quality of the work that we were doing, we felt that was important, very important. And we're blessed that it was easy for us to do.
Definitely. I think that's what keeps rolling through my head, is just remembering how blessed that I am and that my organization is during this time, because there's so many people that they have to be able to work to survive, and maybe they have to go back to work whenever it's not really safe out to go back to work, So
Exactly.
It's great that we're able to do that, but we also keep that in our minds with all the people that aren't as blessed as we are. So
Right.
you mentioned your book. Do you want to talk a little bit more about the new book that just came out?
We're very excited about it. The book is called The Prosperity Playbook. It's a guide for family businesses, particularly those that are undergoing a succession in the next 10 to 15 years. But the tools will work for any businesses that wants to grow, any small business that wants to grow and thrive at a level that they're not now, and who particularly needs some more financial tools. As I said about what we do, is I actually learned accounting not because I wanted to be a CPA, but because I wanted to help small businesses, and accounting is the language of businesses. So most business owners don't come from that background. They come from the background of what is they know. They're deep into their manufacturing technology, or they're really into their professional services, or that's their skill set. So we offer a complementary skill set and help them integrate a lot of business skills with the data and see it in ways that they didn't before. And the book really just lays out those tools in a way that are accessible for anyone who buys it. And it's I've gotten some great responses. We've made #1 Amazon list in 3 different categories, so we're having fun with that. And it's just we're continue to put out new tools that are coming from the book. So the Prosperity Playbook site is going to be expanding and growing as we move along.
That's so exciting. So what are some of the different tools that you've developed with it? I'm curious about that.
Well, we have, and most recently, we've been giving away our cash tools, cash management tools.
Okay.
As soon as the coronavirus hit, we started triaging all our clients in terms of who was the most impacted. And obviously, those people who had to close their doors were our first, person to contact. We've been doing continuous cash flow forecasting for them, and we use a tool called the Cash Headroom. Then we started doing weekly webinars to let people know about these tools, to encourage them to use them. We added that we used them internally, so they didn't have a lot of instructions. We added instructions, and made them basically fill in the blank spreadsheets so anyone could use them. And through that process, we helped. We introduced people to the CARES Act programs as well, and we helped secure about $5 million of EIDL and PPP loans for people, and gave them the tools and encouraged them, told them how to use them and where to use them. So that was the first thing we've rolled out. A new one is coming out, and more about business by design, and soon there'll be one called the 4 Ways to Grow Your Business, which now we're looking at. Whatever's happened has happened. How do we go about recovering our business? How do we go into a recovery phase?
Wow, cool. So when do those new tools come out, or when can we expect them?
You can expect them ongoing. If you check out our website, we have ongoing webinars and events that are coming out all the time. And if you check our social media posts, you'll see that we're having regular webinars, and a lot of them are live. They're live fed on Facebook, but they're also posted to our LinkedIn profile and actually our website as well, which is MackeyAdvisors.com.
That's awesome. And it's great that you guys are making, it seems like they're very relevant tools. I expected them to be, maybe just a little bit more in line with what your business or your organization used to be. But it seems like you guys are really trying to adapt well to what's going on, because it seems like the business landscape is just going to completely shift after everything has happened.
Yes. Well, I have been working with businesses for over 30 years. And when we're working with them, we definitely look at how much their cash reserves are, and are they comfortable, and where should they be? And kind of general policy has always been to have about 90 days cash cushion. Well, never in my mind did I think that people would have to close their business. So when you think about it, it is a new paradigm, and is a new way of thinking about what is it to be financially prepared, fiscally prepared. And so many businesses, as we were looking at our clients, if we look back at 3 or 4 years before they started working with us, they would be out of business today. So being financially prepared isn't it's a nice to have, it's a must have. The world is uncertain. And one of the things I've always told people is we kind of think that the current economic climate is always going to be here, but it changes just like the seasons. So when we're in expansion, that's temporary. And when we're in contraction, that's temporary.
Right.
So you have to be prepared for both.
And I think people will definitely believe you now after experiencing this, because it's been such a dramatic shift.
We've been thinking about doing something called "If you got caught with your pants down," or "Don't get caught with your pants down again."
Honestly, that seems like it would work out, and a lot of people could really relate to that. So I guess there are a lot of shifts that are happening right now. Is there any opportunities that you see that could happen within this time for maybe like the businesses that you work with, or just businesses in general?
Absolutely. I think that, I'm writing a new blog post series called the 3 Hours of Recovery.
Okay.
And the first one is about recovering revenue. So, rethinking how do you have created revenue in the past, and how do you create revenue in the future? Depending on how much of your business has been shut down, you may have not had any business coming in the door. What can you do differently so that you have a more diverse revenue pool? One of the things I always ask clients to do is revisit their passion. Sometimes they've lost their passion, and we never do better in business than when we are aligned with our passion. So is there something about your passion that you left behind you need to reconsider? How do you package? You can do some strategic collaboration. We're about to go into a collaborative model of online training with someone, and I'm very excited about that. And it's too soon to announce all of the details, but I'm really looking forward to putting that information together. But how can you do things differently in the future, than you have in the past? The other thing I think that people miss sometimes is that there's an acquisition opportunity. Valuations for businesses have been at an all-time high. Right now, they're not. If you want to make an acquisition in the 2020s and you have backing of the capital, if you have some personal capital or you have some backing, it may be a great time to be out there looking. And we are helping several clients do just that. That it is on their agenda. They wanted to acquire through acquisition, and now they're going to be able to add some clients that were maybe these people are going to go out of business, or they're struggling and they have decided that this is the end for them. They want out.
Right.
So, I think this is what I believe is that the coronavirus didn't create a lot of what's happening, because the 2020s was already going to be very disruptive. There's lots of economic change as technology accelerates, but definitely we were on the Starship Enterprise, and we were traveling along the universe, and we just decided to go into warp speed. So I really think that what the coronavirus did is it put us in warp speed to look at our technology, to look at how think of the possibilities of the diversity of your workforce today versus what it might have been 90 days ago. How have you thought about that? So there's so many things to rethink, primarily in people, structures, like office space. How are you going to use your office space in the future?
Right.
And of course, then your revenue. So really rethinking and reassessing, I think it's a great time. And those who do it fast will be much more advantaged than those who take their time. So I think now speed is important right now.
That's really good advice, I think. And just also an interesting viewpoint, because I don't know if I've really heard yet that 2020 was going to be, a time it makes perfect sense. We're on the upswing of so many different like technological revolutions and things like that. And so it makes sense as to why you would think that the coronavirus has kind of been this catalyst of just fast tracking those things, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
And-
people have been talking about shorter work weeks and working on Zoom and home working. Well, it's all here, right
Right,
now.
exactly. And I think also people are still going to be, or if they weren't concerned before, more concerned about just like employee benefits and stuff like that, or like wage security. And just because there's so many things that maybe they didn't think about before that they actually did need if a crisis like this were to happen. So it's really interesting to see that how important it is to have, you know, a supportive just like supportive practices for your employees, as well as just keeping really good cultural practices in place.
I think culture is super important, Alex, and that goes back to the good business movement, which is what Canopy is all about.
Yeah.
I mean, I think those businesses that are on fire with purpose are going to thrive in this environment, and in a way that businesses where people that work there don't have this great alignment to the work that's being done. It's just a job. Will not do as well. So I think it's time for us all to really reassess, why are we here and what are we doing? And are we empowering the people that work with us to be more purpose-filled too?
Yeah, I agree completely. And that's something that Canopy has been working on and talking about to figure out, okay, so during this time, how can we really emphasize to companies to be like, hey, this is the perfect time to be able to just take a pause and look and see what the effects of this virus are on your staff, as well as just like the structure of your business right now, and how can improving your culture and implementing practices, help support your business in the long run. So like you said, I think it's those that actually have that really strong foundation and strong like cultural ties to one another and just to the business in general. Like they're going to be the ones that survive in the long run, as opposed to ones that are just going to a job. So I think that's all really important and really good advice. So with that in mind, since you mentioned good business, we've been asking a lot of the people that have come on this Canopy Cafe how they define good business. And so I'm curious as to what your definition for good business is.
Well, I think for me, I think good business is purpose-filled businesses. It's a purpose-filled business. And, at Mackey Advisors, we really have two purposes that we think are, and one main purpose, which involves our work with our clients, which is to empower our small businesses that work with us to prosper. And that means not just making more money, but to live more fulfilled lives and to be more purpose-filled themselves. But our secondary thing, if there is such a thing as secondary, is then around sustainability. We want to be sustainability. We are sustainability advocates. We just put solar panels on our building. I don't know why we're going to use the building in the future, but it's carbon neutral. And we're very excited about the ways that we used lead design when we remodeled the space, and we received a sustainability award for our building remodel. And so we want to show other small businesses that being green and being sustainable isn't just something that the Fortune 500 could do.
Right.
We all have a part. So we feel like the way to do that is to model it.
That's wonderful. I think you hit the nail on the head. That would be kind of how Canopy would define good business too. It's being able to socially impact your community as well as socially impact the people within your business positively, as well as environmentally, which I think sometimes gets brushed off or is put, into like this bipartisan sort of structure, and that it really doesn't need to be all of that. I think that it's a really important tenet of good business, just for the sustainability for the long term. So
absolutely, and I think it's critical. I mean, most people believe that part of the mutation of the coronavirus is as a result of climate change. And I have grandchildren. I want them to have a nice planet to live on, or a planet to live on.
Right. Yeah, definitely. That's interesting. I haven't heard that theory before. Well, thank you, Mackey. How can people connect with you if they're interested in your services or just want to go check out your book or anything like that?
Sure. Well, first of all, if people have questions that have been listening, we'd love to hear them and respond to them. If you have questions about money or finance or small business, you can connect with me at MackeyAdvisors.com. and you can connect with me at theprosperityplaybook.com. If you want to, and if you go on Amazon, of course, or really at your local bookstore, you can order the Prosperity Playbook anywhere. So if you ask your local bookstore, which I hope you will, to carry it and to ship it, it is available through the Ingram Network as well. And we look forward to connecting with you. So you can, those tools, if you think about the price of a book, I think it's about $15 for the softback. You can't lose.
Right.
There's certainly more than $15 worth of great advice in there. So.
That's wonderful. All right. Well, if no one has any questions from the outside, I guess I'll go ahead and send you off. I know we actually visited Covington, Kentucky is where you guys are located, right?
Mm-hmm.
We visited, Canopy did one day, and we got to speak with Mackey about this wonderful farm that she lives on with all of her wonderful produce that she's been making. And she has chickens on her farm. And I really hope that you and your family and your farm are doing well throughout this. I know it can be difficult. So.
Yes, I am so blessed. I'm blessed to have a great team, and I watched them raise to new heights. But I am also blessed to live in an incredible part of Kentucky where I walk out my door. I have 35 acres of beauty, and so I walk every morning. If you check out Red Sunflower Farm, you obviously see some pictures of what's happening in our neck of the woods. We do grow most of our own food, and we're just beginning to harvest all the spring vegetables. So it's a fun time to experiment with asparagus and lettuce and spinach and all the great greens. Wow. And I hope everybody, if you're not growing, which a lot more people are gardening, which is fantastic, buy from another local grower, buy local. And that's another shift that's happening to talk about shifts.
Yeah.
People are going to be looking at supply chain, and they're going to be looking at having a more local supply chain. So
definitely
part of that structure piece.
Yeah. And I've even seen a lot about, I think just with lack of access to food, especially for those in, food deserts and stuff like that, but even just the general population, being able to access food has been so difficult. So I've seen articles as well as just stories about how to grow your own food. And I think that that's so important. It sounds like you're living in an oasis during this time. I feel like a lot of people would really love to be in that situation. So
there are, we have visitors. We social distance when they come, but I said anyone's welcome to come hike our hills if you need a little green space. Yeah. We love sharing.
I saw where Ben Smock, one of our Canopy members, just put up that he wanted to do a camping and hiking trip together sometime. So
yeah, well, we've had folks. We have we're on Banklet Creek, so we have several beautiful sections, and we've had groups come and camp out near the creek before. It's a fun place to be and hear the water at night.
Yeah. Right. Oh gosh, that sounds amazing. Well, thank you so much, Mackey, for coming on here and talking with us. It was really great to see you, and hopefully we can actually see each other in person sometime soon.
I hope so too, Alex. Thanks for having me. And you have a great day.
Bye-bye. Yeah, you too. Bye. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining the Canopy Cafe today. We talked with Mackey McNeill, and if you want to connect with her, you can go to her website, as well as connect with their social medias. I think it's at Mackey Advisors on Instagram and Twitter. But also, if you want to stay connected with Canopy, a great way to do that is to sign the Charter for Good Business. So you can access our Charter for Good Business at canopyky.org. And basically, you signing this is just saying that you stand with good business and you believe in the movement that's happening. So also, if you believe in the movement and you want to donate to Canopy, we're always accepting donations because we're a nonprofit startup organization. So you can, I think, connect with the link below. Yes. And also go to our website, on our Facebook page. Basically, it's not hard to miss our donate button because it is so important to us for us to be able to stay alive during this time and stay alive during long term. So thanks, everyone, for joining. Have a good day.